Alrighty, so we have got COVID-19 on our shores again, and there is a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace for business owners at this time, and we're noticing that people are trimming costs and tightening their belts to weather the storm and trying to get through to the other side. One of the main costs that one of the important costs that they do cut happens to be advertising. Which at a time like this, not advertising would be a mistake, but there are ways that you can do it effectively. And today I've invited Lynnaire Johnson, the word wizard, to speak with us about the power of LinkedIn, because she has been ranked the #1 expert for LinkedIn in New Zealand, which we're very fortunate to get to hear what Lynnaire's advice is today. And I want you to consider what she has to say. I know that putting yourself out there on the internet can be terrible and frightening and scary, but also hugely powerful for your business when you're cutting costs for advertising. So Lynnaire, can you talk to us about the power of LinkedIn and the benefits of using it?
I can indeed, and I'm so thrilled to be with you, Gemma. Thank you so much for the invitation to come and have a chat to to everyone about something I'm so passionate about. So yes, I think LinkedIn is a must for businesses, whether they are SMEs, which is an area of expertise obviously of yours and two of mine, because I think it's just the most amazing place where you can achieve anything that you really want to with organic reach, by which I mean you don't have to pay for advertising. And as you've just said in your introduction, that's really an amazing thing at the time when we all have to tighten our belts.
It is, and it's a person-to-person platform too, so it's not just business and ads, it's actually about connecting with your audience, isn't it?
It is indeed, and I think connecting is one of the most crucial things, but it's not a numbers game, Gemma. I think a lot of people think the bigger their network, the better, but in fact it's all about the quality of their network. So people that they are connected to, are they active on LinkedIn? Do they have a good network? And are they people in the industry that people would look up to and that you can learn from? And that might be open to an exchange of views with you. So that having the right people in your network is critically important.
And so what pieces of advice do you have for, being the person that those people want to connect with?
So I call that being linkable, right? So that means that you, as you say, are the person that other people say yes to when there's a connection invite dropping into the appropriate place in the networking bar. And so to be someone that is linkable, you need to have a good profile. And so that's a profile that stands out from the crowd. It jumps off the page, it's compelling, it's interesting, it's visual, it makes people stop and read it, and it gives a really good picture of who you are, what you do, the journey that you've been on, and perhaps sometimes too where it is that you're wanting to end up. So you need to make it very clear what it is that you're offering people when you have a good profile. That's, I think, the absolute crux of it. It's all about personal branding and making sure that people can see at a glance who it is, who you are, what you do, and how you might be able to solve their problem. So I think that having a profile is the first step, a good profile is the first step. And the second step is to get active on the program, on the platform rather. And I think that that's really important too, because you can put up a website and nobody will ever visit it if you don't tell people it exists, right? And so a profile is the same. You have to bring people to your profile. You've got to give them a reason to want to check you out and to make sure that you are someone that they want to do business with, want to connect with, and want to develop a relationship with.
One little saying that floats around that really resonates with me, particularly in relation to LinkedIn, is that people do business with people, not business.
That is very true, yes, and people that they like and that they trust. And I think that that's something that LinkedIn does very well. It builds trust with people. So you might connect with someone that you don't know, just in the way that you and I have. And here we are, we're having this chat today. So it's all about being visible, being seen, building up that kind of credibility with people. I put it like this, it's a formula, I think. Visibility plus credibility equals opportunity. So what I mean by that is you be visible through your activity and a great profile. You build up your credibility by sharing really useful information with the audience, and then that develops into opportunities. And whatever opportunities looks like to you, it might be incoming leads for your business, for example. It might be, what else might it be? It could be getting an opportunity to be a podcast guest or speak at a conference. It could be an opportunity to meet with somebody in the industry who is a real heavyweight. There are lots and lots of opportunities, I think, out there for using LinkedIn when you do it really well.
Yeah. So in terms of posting, it's not just a case of finding something useful and hitting share.
Oh no, I think share is the worst kind of posting. I don't mean it's not any use at all. What I mean by that is that of the 3 types of what they call reactions, so that's liking, commenting and sharing, that's the least useful because it doesn't go very far. Now LinkedIn will determine how wide it spreads posts into news feeds on the basis of whether it is a relevant post to the audience, how well it's been put together, how many people engage with it. That's a critical thing. And sharing a post doesn't get anything like the kind of engagement that you would expect if you just wrote a post and people commented on it. Now, I don't understand why that's the case, but that's the way it is. So the best kind of engagement that you can get is a comment, the second is a like, and the third is to have the post shared. And now, of course, you can send a post to somebody else. So say you found a post that you thought I might be interested in. You can actually click a button that will send me the post so I see it, and then I can engage with it, or I can read it, or do whatever it is that you think makes it relevant to me. And I like that idea. I think that's really sensible too. And that's just a new feature on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I use that with my husband actually.
I hadn't thought of that. I might try the same. Here's something I think you should read, darling.
A professional way of dropping hints.
Yes, exactly.
I find LinkedIn for me has been a really great way of building a personal brand, because if I can share a piece of content and I add a little spiel alongside it so that the people that are viewing it can see my values and opinions, whether or not they need my product or service or I need theirs at this time, we're engaging, we know about each other, what they do, what they offer, and how their values and opinions resonate with my own values and opinions. And then by the time it comes where they need to transact with whatever your product or service is, you're front of mind, they know that you're the one that can do the business for them, and it didn't cost anything. But it does take the guts to put yourself out there, to say what you think or what you mean, or to contradict something that's been said, or whatever it is. But the upside of it is just so huge, because you're being seen by people you don't even realize you're being seen by.
Yes, there are a lot of lurkers out there. You're absolutely right. And you don't know that they're watching what you're doing or reading your material until all of a sudden you get a message from them, because they're suddenly really ready to do business with you. And they say to you things like, I've been watching you for 2 years, and you go, what? Heard of you? And that's great, because it just shows you the extent of LinkedIn, how far a network can stretch. And I think that that's absolutely right, that there are a lot of people who don't engage, who just look from the sidelines for whatever reason, whether they don't have the confidence to be on the platform themselves, or whether that's their strategy is just to stay in the background. And there are ways to be able to do that which are perhaps a little less, shall I say, risky for people than posting themselves. Like if you comment on somebody else's post, then that's getting you visibility without you really having to get out there and go, I believe X, Y, and Z, which can open you up to some criticism. That's true. But LinkedIn isn't like some other social media platforms. It's very benign. People are really nice to each other. Look, it's not 100% foolproof, I understand that, but people are on here to do business. We're not on LinkedIn to talk about our religious affiliations, our political beliefs, or what we did on our summer holidays, which was probably stay at home. But it's all about sharing business ideas and business information. And so people come to LinkedIn with a whole different attitude about it, and why they are there and what they want from it. And I think it's that change in attitude or difference in attitude that makes LinkedIn such a welcoming place, where if you do have an opposing opinion, provided you express it in an impersonal way, and instead of calling someone stupid, say, I disagree with what you have said for the following reasons, then that's perfectly acceptable, and it's a normal part of open debate. So I think that that's perfectly acceptable, but it's one of the reasons I do like LinkedIn, is because there is that kind of debate and that openness to be able to talk about various ideas and to gauge people's opinions too.
A good finger on the pulse, actually, isn't it, really, for people who do that B2B business to business work. You can get quite industry specific feedback in real time as well when you've got a good debate going.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so I think it's a really really easy to digest summary of some of the advantages of using LinkedIn. And I know, Lynnaire, that you have a book coming out. I did see that go up. So you've got a book coming out about LinkedIn.
It's called Linkability, and it's coming out in the next 3 weeks, and I'm really excited. So the subtitle is 4 Powerful Strategies to Maximize Your LinkedIn Success. So I talk about the 4 different strategies that you can use either on their own or together to be able to build up a really good activity and presence and visibility on LinkedIn, depending on what it is that you want to achieve, because as we said earlier, people want to achieve different things on LinkedIn, which is great. And so those strategies are connecting, which you and I've already talked about, posting or publishing, which we've touched on, and direct messaging, and engagement. So engagement, I think, is one of those strategies where it's kind of a bit low key, and you kind of slide under the radar when you engage on other people's posts, but it does get you out there and gets you seen. So yes, so 4 strategies, they come together and they help people to achieve whatever goals that they might have for their LinkedIn activity.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it would be great reading, especially for people who need a bit of a kick in the pants to get started with LinkedIn.
Well, hopefully it takes away that fear, because I do know that people find it a bit intimidating. It's intimidating because the platform's a bit complicated. It's intimidating because there are lots of options, and it's intimidating because you're putting yourself out there. And a lot of us, particularly New Zealanders, and even more particularly women, find that really hard to do. And so it's a good low-key way of building up your confidence and your visibility and your credibility with the people that you want to take notice of you.
Thank you. I'm going to leave some links for Lynnaire, the word wizard, the #1 ranked LinkedIn specialist in New Zealand. And if you want to extend the conversation, you should be able to reach out to her and keep an eye out for the book that's coming out in 3 weeks as well, which I think will be a really fantastic resource. So Lynnaire, thank you so much for taking the time out of your birthday to come and chat with me. I really appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you so much, Gemma. It's just been lovely having a chat with you. I always love talking about LinkedIn. So anytime anyone wants to ask me a question from the people from your audience who are watching this, please just send me a message. I'd be really happy to answer any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.